It is 9:30, the appointed time for the January meeting of the Wood County Board of Supervisors. We will call that to order at this time. I'd ask the clerk to please take the roll, and she has done that. And Supervisor Winch has been excused. The invocation, Supervisor Joe Zerfeld. Joe, if you'd come forward. And while Joe's working his way up here for the invocation, if I could ask the body to please rise and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Brothers and sisters, let us bow our heads in a moment of silence to remember all who have served and fought to preserve our freedom, especially the freedom of assembly, which we are about to exercise at this hour. Father, Creator and Sustainer of life, we thank you for our liberty and freedom, in particular the freedom from our faults and sins, that freedom bestowed upon us by the life, death, and resurrection of your Son, Jesus. May we remember he will come again in judgment. May he find us doing your will, Father, by serving all your children without prejudice, so that we will eternally experience your love, peace, and joy. Father, let us stand with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, whose birthday we celebrated yesterday. And when Jesus comes to gather all of us to you on the last day, let us say with Dr. King, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, we'd entertain a motion on the minutes from the previous meeting. Motion by Fire to approve, a second by Hendler. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Any discussion on the minutes? Okay, all in favor of approval, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Today under excusals, obviously we have Supervisor Winch. Resignations, we have none. Under appointments, Supervisor Hankel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I asked to be excused at 10:45.
I promise I'll be done by then.
Okay. That would be good.
So all you guys got that. All right. Under reappointments, there's the three that I have listed there, and there's a fourth one that we added because we forgot to put it on the list. And unless there's an objection to that, I'll read these. The reappointments are as follows. Leland Cow to the Civil Service Commission for a 5-year term. Robert Whitrock to the Ethics Committee for a 3-year term. Jeff Conrad to the Ethics Committee for a 3-year term. And the one that isn't listed is Marla Cummings as the alternate to the Central Wisconsin Economic Development Board. So without objection to that, because it wasn't on here, I would entertain a motion to approve those appointments by Henkel, second by Wagner. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
And opposed, and that carries unanimously. Public comment. Is there any public comment today? Any public comment? Okay, no public comment. That takes us to acknowledgments and recognitions. And I'd call on Mike Fighter at this time to come forward. Mike, the podium and the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman Preble. At this time, I would like to call on Gary Crockstead, our retired coroner, to come forward for a presentation.
Thank you, but it wasn't supposed to be for me.
No, it's not for you.
Okay. Yeah. This is for Gabriel K. Holzer, who's been my deputy, one of my deputies, my chief deputy for 22 years. Gabriel's been a deputy in Wood County for 31 years, and he's been the most compassionate, caring, and thorough guy that you could ever think of. I had 4 of the best corners in the state of Wisconsin, I really did. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to perform my job the way I felt it was. But Gabe, whenever I wanted some help or something, or he gave me advice. When I was unable to go on calls, Gabe was there always. He's just the most reliable and one of the most knowledgeable corners that I could have asked for. We have a couple things for Gabe, if you come forward. He was given a badge 32 years ago, and he's carried it ever since then. And at this time, I'm going to present that badge to him. And it was given to him by Mr. Jim Breitenstein, who appointed Gabe. And Gabe's been staying with the coroner's office ever since. All the other coroners liked his work, and I did too. And so that's why he was reappointed. Now Gabe has decided he's going to retire, just like I did. Gabe? And Wood County has a plaque here also that they've given to Gabriel K. Holden for 30 years and 6 months of dedicated service to the people of Wood County. The Wood County Deputy Coroner, January 2015. Gabe, in case most of you probably don't know that he came from Hungary, and he was in a camp for quite a few years, and then he went to nurses training, and he got to be a registered nurse. He's currently retired registered nurse. But thank God for people like Gabe who's willing to give their time and service to the country and the gory and all the bad scenes, and I appreciate everything he's done for me. God bless you, Gabe, again. Thank you all to the county board also for your support for me in my 22 years of service. I appreciate it very, very much. You've been very supportive. I only hope that the committee that is the safety committee now, headed by Mr. Fire, that they continue to have good committees like that. Thank you all.
Gary, where are you going? You're not relieved yet. When you walked up here, you tried to take my thunder and you said, I'm not supposed to get this. Well, you weren't supposed to get that one. That's not yours. But I'd like to have you come up here and let the county present you one. And I do know you don't want this, but that's beside the point. Usually the people that don't want it gets one, and the one that really want it don't get it. So it says the Wood County Board of Supervisors recognizes and thanks Gary R. Krogstad for 20 years and 1 month of dedicated service to the people of Wood County Coroner, January 15th, and it's just signed by Lance Plemmel and Trent Miner. And I thank you for all your service. And I figured if I got this on the end, we would cut the speech short. Do you want to give another speech, or are you done?
All I want to say is thank you again, and I sure didn't expect this, nor do I merit it. It was my deputies deserve all the credit. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gary, I know you didn't want that, but your dedication and obviously your humility shines through it. Thank you for all of those years of service, both as a coroner and law enforcement before that. Also, special thanks to all of those deputies who serve with Gary. Thank you, Mike. Very nicely done. All right, this takes us into the packet today. We have no special orders of business. That's why I told Hildy we'd probably be done by easily 10:45. All right, page 10 in your packet begins the minutes of the Executive Committee. Those minutes of Tuesday, January 6th are on page 10. 11. On page 12 is the Employee Wellness Board meeting minutes of September 11th, as well as 13. Page 14, their minutes from Monday, January 5th, as well as 15. 16 is the Human Resources Monthly Letter of Comments. Comments from Safety and Risk Management on 17. The Finance Department minutes on page 18. So there are comments on page 18. On page 19, comments from the County Clerk. Page 20, Amy Culp's report from IT. That's 20, 21. And page 22 is the Maintenance Monthly Letter of Comments. Any questions on any of those? This is the Executive Committee packet. Pages 23 through 26, we have 4 resolutions in your packet. All of those are budget amendments. Does anybody have any objection to us taking all 4 of those at once? All right, without objection, I will have the clerk read those 4 resolutions, please.
Okay, we're on page 23, which is item 1-1, which will be numbered resolution 15-1-1. To amend the 2015 budget for information technology, voice over IP, for additional expenditures that were not anticipated during the original budget process. Fiscal note, no additional cost to Wood County. The source of the funding is the non-lapsing voice over IP designated fund balance. The adjustment to the budget totals $24,500. Page 24, this resolution will be numbered 15-1-2 to amend the 2014 Edgewater Haven Nursing Home budget for the following functions and for transfer of available appropriations to functions where actual expenditures have exceeded budgeted amounts. Fiscal note, no additional cost to Wood County. The additional appropriations needed for transfers are available through unexpended funds in other departments. The adjustment to the budget totals $86,100. Page 25, this resolution will be numbered 15-1-3 to amend the 2014 budget for dispatch for the purpose of funding higher than anticipated expenditures. Fiscal note, to transfer $50,000 from available balance in contingency to dispatch. At the time of this request, the funds available in contingency are $327,645. The adjustment to the budget totals $50,000. Page 26, this resolution will be numbered 15-1-4 to seek County Board approval to amend the 2014 Emergency Management Budget for unanticipated state aid monies and to appropriate those monies to emergency management. Fiscal note, no additional cost to Wood County. The source of the funding is unanticipated revenues from the State of Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs. The adjustment to the budget totals $52,000.
We've heard the reading of the resolutions. I won't even attempt to restate those. I had a motion by Minor to approve and a second by Fire. Is there any discussion on any of these 4 resolutions? Any discussion? All right. Just one moment. We'll go to the next screen here. Okay, please vote. Thank you very much. 2 things to note there. That passed, all those passed unanimously, and secondly, all of these voting pads worked. And I know the clerk and our communication people worked on that this whole week, so that's a positive sign. Page 27 in your packet, Health and Human Services Committee meeting of December 22nd, as well as page 28. The Wood County Human Services Department reports, beginning with Director Retter's report on pages 29 through 33. I'll give you a minute to go through those, 29 through 33. Page 34 in your packet begins the report from the Health Department. led by Sue Comferman's report at the top from December 22nd. That's pages 34 through 37. Page 38, Veteran Service Officers Report. Page 39, Edgewater Havens Monthly Report. No questions on any of those. Then that brings us to the resolution on page 40 in your packet.
This will be Resolution 15-1-5 to implement suicide prevention policies in departments of Wood County government. Fiscal note, none. Policy development and training will be completed using existing Wood County Health Department resources.
A motion by Hamilton, second by Nelson. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Any discussion? Please vote.
Supervisor Holcamp, you need to confirm.
Again, that resolution passed 18-0. And I'm not sure what you did with that system, but, and I don't want to jinx it, but right now, this is pretty good. Page 41 in your packet, minutes of the Wood County Public Safety Committee of December 8th. Their minutes of December 16th on 42, 43, 44, and 45. Humane Officers Report on 46. Coroner Cronstadt's report on 47. Pages 48 through 53, various jail population figures, 48 through 53. And I know I've said this before, but those of you who've been here for a while and remember looking at these in the past, you would realize how favorable these are. In fact, maybe at some point, Sheriff Reichert, we ought to have you put something in from 10 years ago to show what those look like compared to what they look like today, because that has had a tremendous impact on our budget as we've gone forward year to year. Page 54 in your packet, the minutes of the Conservation, Education, Economic Development Committee of Thursday, December 18th, as well as 55. Same committee, Wednesday, January 7th on 56, 57. Supervisor Clendenning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On page 57, 6A, the Judicial Legislative Committee, Wednesday at 1 o'clock, will be discussing this issue, and any supervisors invited to it, we may even co-sponsor such a resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Page 58, any questions there? 59 and 60. All right, beginning on page 61 is the Golden Sands Resource Conservation and Development Council Incorporated. It starts with their regular business executive committee meeting of November 20th. We have various minutes of their committees on pages 61 through 74. And I'll give you a minute to go through those and see if you made any notes. 61 through 74, all Golden Sands. Okay, page 75, the report from Jerry Stork and Land Conservation and his various people in that office. Page 75 and 76. Various departmental reports from UW Extension on page 77 through 80. 77 through 80. On page 81, we begin with Jason Grunenberg's staff report from the Planning and Zoning Office. Those go 81 through 90, pages 81 through 90. So take a look there and see if you had any questions. Everybody good? Nobody shaking their head no. Okay. Page 91 in your packet. Minutes of the Judicial and Legislative Committee of December 16th. That's 91. Same committee, December 17th on 92 and 93. Also the same committee, January 8th on 94 and 95. the Corp Council's update to that committee on 96 and 97.
Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor Roser.
I noticed in this series of emails that there was a resolution to establish an alcohol court, and I was just kind of wondering what the thoughts were, because we have this drug court and alcohol is a drug. Is there any way to just expand the current drug court to include alcohol abuse?
I think the short answer to that is these courts have been state funded at this point, and this resolution dealt with encouraging the state to allow funding of alcohol as an addition or separate court, because right now it is not inclusive in what they allow that to pay for. So the answer is, yeah, you can do it one way or the other, but the encouragement was for the state to provide the funding to establish those. Page 98 in your packet was Brent Brewing's report from Child Support, the Child Support Director, at 98. Page 99, Notice of Injury and Claim, as well as page 100. 101 is the January 8th minutes of the Highway Infrastructure and Recreation Committee. And that's 101, 102, 03, and 4. Current project updates start for the various departments on page 105, 6, 7, and 8. The Forest Administrator's Report on 109. And that brings us to the next resolution in your packet, which is on page 110.
This will be Resolution 15-1-6, approval of the 2015 Wood County Forest Annual Work Plan. Fiscal note, potential loss of state aid revenues in the amount of $42,478.
Okay, looking Supervisor Bry for motion approval. Second was by, I think, by Hokamp. I see Marion's hand up, by Hokamp. Any discussion on this resolution? Any discussion? All right, let's go to the board and vote. Again, that resolution passed 18-0. Thank you. Give Cindy a chance to catch up, and then we go to page 111, which is a second resolution in your packet from the Herbert Committee.
This will be Resolution 15-1-7, to authorize the county clerk to execute a quitclaim deed transferring county highway property, Auburndale shop and property, to the town village of Auburndale. Fiscal note, the county will receive $155,000 for sale of the property. Compensation will be put into highway department funds.
I have a motion by Clendenning, a second by Bry. Any discussion on this resolution? Supervisor Ashbeck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just got a little trouble understanding it here that you're going to receive $115,000 from either the village or the town.
155.
Or whatever the price is on there. Is that where the money coming from when you're going to transfer this property, or who you're going to transfer it to? You can't transfer it to them both.
Trent.
Yes, we can, and it is to both. They're buying it jointly,
And they're going to give it the money?
or they don't get the deed. It'll go one way or the other.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're going to give it the money for it. Yeah, right. I understand.
Yes, they'll give us the money, yeah, or they won't get a deed.
Well, absolutely. I know.
Yeah.
I just had a little trouble getting it figured out here.
Yep.
I don't know if we clarified a lot there, but we are selling it to them. We are going to be paid for it. Okay. Any further discussion or explanation of that resolution? I did have a motion and a second. I would ask you to please vote. And that resolution passed unanimously, 18-0. Page 112 in your packet, minutes of the McMillan Memorial Library Board of Trustees of November 12th, or for November 12th, as well as 113. The South Central Library System minutes of November 21st and 114. Supervisor Clendenning. Bill, don't be shy. Hand up there.
Thank you. On the McMillan Library Board, Wednesday at 4 o'clock, we're having a meeting, and officially Ron McCabe now is not in power there, but he will be at the meeting. And then the committee is taking him over to the meet-in and gonna liven him up a little bit.
It's that alcohol too.
Okay, thank you. Page 114. The South Central Library System Board of Trustees, that was 114 and 115. The Director's Report on 116. The County Library Board minutes of October 30th on 117 and 118. Page 119 in your packet is minutes of the Spray Irrigation of Waste Ad Hoc Committee from December 16th. Supervisor Wagner.
Yes, I'd like to invite any supervisor who would care to join us at 11 o'clock in the auditorium. Our meeting is going to be held down there today. I'm reminded this is a report to the committee, and we want to hear, we've got 2 guests coming to speak, and we will hear their reports today. We will not be making any decisions today based on our findings. We have a long way to go before we present findings to the board. But again, if there's anybody interested, we'll be down in the auditorium at 11 o'clock.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Clendening?
Thank you, Mr. So if this meeting gets over, because this board worked so good today, then we get over, it's not going to be 15 minutes after the meeting?
I don't,
That's
that's
what
11
it-
o'clock or 15, it was,
Okay.
I would prefer it to be 11, thank you.
I'll let you guys hash that out. As long as you're legally I'm good with whatever you do.
Well, what does the agenda say?
And I'm not sure, I honestly.
It says over.
$15 minutes into this meeting.
Supervisor Wagner?
Yeah, let me address that. I understand that a lot of other people have been invited, and the guest was told 11 o'clock or 15 minutes after the board meeting too. So if we convene early and we have no guests, we'll sit around and look at each other, which I don't think we really want to do. But, so that's my logic behind that, so thank you.
Fair enough. All right, so those minutes of that committee for December 16th began on 119 and 120. Then we had the Criminal Justice Task Force meeting notes from 10/8 on 122. A sign-in sheet. Is that your task force or that was? I'm not sure how that got in there. That was the Criminal Justice Task Force that got in there, actually, on page 122. And then we go back to the spray irrigation meeting attendance sheet at well, it's 121 and 122. I've got 2-sided copies, so I flipped those, but that's what those are. 123, continuation of the Criminal Justice Task Force. That takes me to the end of this packet. Our next county board meeting is scheduled for February 17th. Is there anything else that needs to come before this board at this time? In March, yeah, I'm going to let the clerk speak to that. We're going to have a change of venue for March, for the March meeting.
In March, we plan on holding the county board meeting in Marshfield at the UW campus. There's a big trial in here in March, and it was a good opportunity to go to the Marshfield campus, as there was going to be a special order of business that related to them anyway in March. So look for more information on that, but just tuck that away in your heads. There's a bunch of calendars in the back of the room from the WCA. Grab some of those. That's about it.
That's about it. I know there's a couple WCA steering committee meetings coming up, one this week, I believe.
They got this whole calendar.
Yeah, and obviously the legislative exchange coming up the first week in February. So nothing further ado. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. All right, I'll give it to Zerflu and a second to Hamilton. Any discussion? That's not discussable. All right, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you.